Yes, welcome to this channel, and I know some of you have been asking what is now coming in. Today I have one of the biggest man, and I think I've tried to know him for some period of time, but I've always looked for how do I get him. Today he's on the camera, and this is your guy, Triamble Ignatius, the business coach, the business mentor, an entrepreneur, and every time we come on this channel, we are always sharing ideas on how we can do businesses, and especially make businesses make money for us. Someone was saying that we don't make money, but we only generate money. Now, this is the why we are coming to this discussion, and we today have not been having this topic before, and this is the topic to discuss about agriculture. Wanyira Dennis, CEO and Managing Director, Christ the King Agro Dealers. His passion to agriculture and supporting farmers to make sure that they can also take a step to make more money and in the sector of agriculture. This is the reason to why he's here, and he will be taking us through a number of discussions, and we'll be looking at why some of us are biased about agriculture, why we don't feel like have this question, and I feel always get challenged. The difference between a peasant and a farmer. Because many want to consider them like, I'm a farmer.
Yes.
And I always like, what is the difference between a farmer and a peasant?
Okay. Yeah, in fact, I remember when we were young, I remember teachers used to ask us that what's the profession of your parents, and most of us used to say our fathers are farmers, but in actual sense, when you come to real understanding of the word, a peasant is someone who is carrying out agriculture using rudimentary tools and in rudimentary practices. But a farmer is someone who is informed, who understands the real pillars of agriculture. He uses modern way of doing farming in an uninformed ground. So whatever he does, he has a reason and does it in a good way. But a peasant uses rudimentary methods of doing farming. This is where you find, like for example, like a peasant, he wants to plant, for instance, like a tomato. You find he wants to spray maybe an insecticide. He'll just get a basin, mix a chemical, using not even dressed with a spray suit. He gets a broom, then he begins spraying his tomatoes. That's rudimentary. That's not the way you do farming.
So those ones can be considered as
peasants. Those are real peasants, because whatever
if you have been calling yourself a farmer, then there is a more to discuss about you. And this is basically, when you become a farmer, if someone maybe is considered to be a farmer, does it also relate with how much you earn as maybe as a farmer?
It's not all about how much you earn, but it's all about how much do you know as far as agriculture is concerned or farming is concerned. Do you have the knowledge and the skill in the project that you are doing or not? That's what it takes. And mark you today, agriculture was seen as in that times when you are growing young. Agriculture, people used to view agriculture as something that is for people who have dropped out, people who are failures in life. But today, where we have reached and where we are going, agriculture is remaining for only professionals. Today, if you'll be successful in agriculture, Mr. Ignatius, there are two things. One, you must have money.
Okay.
Two, you must have the knowledge. So if you are doing farming, you have money and you don't have knowledge, don't expect to get money in agriculture. And I advise you, please don't go there unless you are sure you have money to run the project. Secondly, you have the knowledge, the skill that it takes for you to manage that project in order to realize what we call profits out of farming. That is when I know you are doing farming as a business.
Looking at that very point, you think, is there any business where someone can succeed without applying the tool you've mentioned?
No way. No way. Even if it's not in the sector of agriculture, even other businesses, having the knowledge, the skill is very, very important.
Okay.
Many farmers, I've seen them, they go in farming and he has no clue about what he's doing. He keeps on calling a fellow farmer. Alex, I saw you last time you grew watermelon. Which chemical did you use? But realizing the problem the other farmer or a peasant, the problem he had is not the same problem you're having here. So even he goes in a project, he's not aware which enemy, which type of pests are going to attack him. He doesn't understand which type of diseases are going to understand him. They just go, plant, do weeding, and begin gambling with the chemicals and other inputs. So at the end of the day, when you carry out what you call cost-benefit analysis in the project, you realize that farmer is playing just in business, is not making any money. That's why you see in Africa and Uganda, farmers are the hard-working people, but they're not realizing money out of what they're doing.
Don't you think this is one of the reasons what has discouraged many people to think agriculture can be a hard business?
Agriculture is not hard business. It's, in fact, let me talk about our country, Uganda. Anyone who's doing farming in Uganda, first, when you look at the climate is very good, favors farming. Secondly, look at the natural resources. When you stand here, you look at the mountains, rivers are flowing everywhere. Other countries, you'll not find there's no water. But Uganda is blessed with streams of water, there's swamps, there are waterfalls, where you can easily tap, you may be used by use of gravity and all other means. So, farming in Uganda is so profitable as long as you understand these 5, may I call them 5 pillars. I never said them at school, but I learned them out of being consistent and practicing farming. One of them, if you be successful in farming, we have 5 pillars that I want every farmer to understand. One is a seed. Many farmers, if you mess up with a seed, then you have messed up with everything. Even if you bring good fertilizer, you bring good fungicides, you bring good insecticides, as long as the seed wasn't good, you will not get the results. Why? A seed contributes 75% of the total output you'll get. Let me bring a simple example. If you're in the sector of crops, growing crops, you go and buy a local tomato variety, for example, like Rio Grande. Rio Grande, even if you give good fertilizer, you do weeding, you do other management practices, it will not exceed 10 fruits. It can give you like 10, 8. You find other varieties that are putting 5 tomatoes, fruits on a crop. Remember, it's the same insecticides. That crop is taking the same fungicides, the same type of maturity. So you find the farmer has a very big 1 acre and says, I have 1 acre of tomatoes, but when it comes to harvesting, he's not getting money out of it. Why? He's only waiting for 5 tomatoes on 1 crop. You find, and that's how peasants are suffering also.
That is brought by the problem.
Poor seed. You bought a low quality seed. So if you are taking farming as a business, please go in for hybrid seed. We have some seeds that give us high yield and a good management. Go for those ones. And you don't need to go for acreage in order for you to realize profits. As long as the seed is okay, it's very important. Even if it's a small portion, you'll manage it perfectly and get some profit out of it. Pillar number 2 is the pesticides. When I talk about pesticides, I'm meaning insecticide for managing, controlling pests. I'm meaning fungicide for managing diseases. I'm meaning herbicides for managing weed in your crop. Now, we have many products on market, most especially here like in Uganda. When you look at the quality of pesticides on the market, some of them they are fake, some of them they don't meet with the standard. So you buy an insecticide, maybe 100 mils, they are selling you 5,000 or 60,000.
So brings us to the end of this discussion, and really there is a lot to learn. And I think for those that will need his more for his guidance and maybe advice on agriculture, the contacts are down there. You will easily contact him on one-on-one, because we were trying to look at some of the areas how we can improve agriculture and do agriculture as a business, because agriculture is an industry which is still virgin and which can accommodate all millions of Ugandans.
True.
Actually, I'm sure that those who are on the street looking for jobs, this sector can consume you all. When we come back, we'll be looking at why and where do I, when and how can I make myself one of a proud farmer in Uganda.